Hello everyone, and welcome to Kevin's Seventh Heaven. Today we are going to talk about two of the great magic powers of the world, music and community. It is no secret that my singing voice didn't really begin to grow with any kind of motivation until high school. My grandmother was a great lover of music, from ancient music on up to modern music. Among the recordings she had were classically trained voices like the Three Tenors and American standard singers like Sinatra and Bing Crosby. I grew up to really love these voices and work toward emulating them in private. From the start of my life until the end of middle school, I lived in Prescott, Arizona, which was big enough to have two middle schools and class sizes that catered less to the individual. The town had a little over 36,000 people in it when we left. I then moved to Vail, South Dakota, and went to school in neighboring Newell. Vail had around 130 people in it when we moved, and Newell was at around 600. Much more personalized treatment there at school. We soon became friends with the family down the road, the mother of which was going to be the choir director in Newell. The son, who was my age, asked me to join the choir so that it wouldn't be just him as the only guy from our grade. This is the first time I had a male peer try to get me into choir. Until this point, I had considered it to be uncool to be in choir. I was then in high school choir for the entirety of my time at Newell, and participated in two of the South Dakota All-State Chorus and Orchestras during my high school years. These were my first experiences with what it could be like to be in such a massive choir. Back to middle school, I had started my band experience learning the trumpet. I wanted to be like Louis Satchmo Armstrong. Then my band teacher found out about my family's double bell euphonium. I was soon switched over to the low brass section and the much heavier music case of the euphonium. When we got up to South Dakota, I played in the band, and through it had opportunities to do solo contests, the Northern Hills Honor Band, and Augustana Band Festival. It also helped me to be pulled to Northern State University. I may not have continued majoring in euphonium, but it still brings me a lot of joy to play in a group, especially community band and Tuba Christmas. There are lots of statistics I could find for you to see the benefit of communal music on the individuals and society. But I am not trying to convince you to fund these programs, although you should. I am asking you to join these programs. And the only way I know how to do that is to share the things that I have learned and the magic I have experienced while being a part of community music. The first thing I have learned is the cultures and pronunciation of the languages I have sung in. I have sung in Spanish, French, German, Latin, Greek, Macedonian, Ukrainian, Malaysian, Hebrew, Japanese, Chinese, Mongolian, Russian, and both languages from Africa and some Native American tribes. This has allowed me to appreciate the cultures of the world and how they interconnect. It is much easier to see how small and beautiful our world really is when you learn a bit about it, especially through music. I have learned how to closely listen to things, to find where my neighbor is and match or harmonize with their pitch as required. It is a skill that should be learned by the rest of society, to find where we each are in our lives and do our best to bring harmony to the societal song. Finally, I learned teamwork. If there's a part where someone else should shine, then you quiet down until you are both heard but are supportive of them. I think this is how I think about my ways of supporting those of various marginalized groups. I am perfectly ready to stand up for them, but my greater role is to support them as they find their own footing on how to live well in this world. There is also teamwork during difficult passages of the music. This is especially evident in more highly variable instruments, like the voice. It can be hard to get your ear just right to make your voice sing the right note. So you listen for it to pop up somewhere else, and use that to add to the song. This is comparable to those who engage in team sports. You pass the ball or puck or whatever around to each other until you complete the play. It is also similar to how we each learn from historical people, our mentors, and our peers. We pass that inspiration amongst ourselves until we get progression and results. There are many other things you can learn, but those are the most important. Now, onto the experience. There is a kind of magic that happens when you perform music together. Your heartbeats will grow closer together, and you become one giant musical being, made up of a multitude of parts. Music elicits emotion from the performer, from the composer, and especially from the audience. As a solo performer, I know that I have made people cry from bringing lost loved ones' memories back into their heads. As part of a group, I know that power is only amplified. I think the most powerful instance I have seen of this is when I joined several choirs from around the state, along with the South Dakota Symphony, in performing Gustav Mahler's 8th Symphony. The symphony is nicknamed the Symphony of 1,000. It is meant to be performed with dueling adult choirs, a children's choir, and soloists, along with the orchestra and an organ, in this mass of people and sound. It was absolutely glorious. On at least one of these performances, the magic in the air pulled a 15-minute standing ovation from the audience. I am convinced that there is very little that truly taking part in communal music couldn't heal through that magic. I'm telling you all this because time is of the essence. School is starting, and so are the performance years of community music groups. You have time to find a place near you and be part of that magic. Or, if performance is not for you, then you can find out the schedule of their performances so you can attend their concerts and be recipients of that beautiful magic. They are some of the most profound experiences you can have, as well as being the most economical music choices there are around. Please do me a favor and make community music a part of your life. You won't regret it if you do. Thanks for listening to me Twitter and sing about the importance and magic of community music. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn that notification bell to all. It would really help me and community music. Anyway, ta-ta for now. Love you all.